This week's topic it was a comment left on Ricky's video last week, and we're gonna respond to it. Okay, it says, as I feel personally a little bit lost between the FTM and genderqueer identity feelings and possibilities, as both have attributes I feel totally related to, but none of them seems to fit perfectly in the end. It would be great if you can tell me more about your personal journey between these two ways of making sense of your feelings. What brought you to the conclusion that FTM identity does not fit you? This is, of course, a question to all genderqueer chatters. Thanks and greetings from overseas. And the bonus question is Mac or PC and why? Hi, greetings from to you overseas. Okay. The first thing, I identify with falling under the trans umbrella. I do identify as trans. I guess there are certain things that I struggle with that I think, or I experience, that I think that FTMs do experience, like gender and body dysphoria, and like Andrea said, I think that they're two different things. But throughout my whole process of thinking that I did not belong in a, that I was not cisgendered by any means. In the process of discovering that, I think that I've gone back and forth with thinking that I was FTM and identifying with genderqueer. And, you know, the first thing I want to get out there is that there is no one way to be FTM. You can still be trans. You don't have to transition. That's not something that is necessary. I consider myself as trans. I mean, to the people that I'm out to, they use male pronouns. They call me Quincy, not by my birth name. But as you can tell, I present as what society views as female. The way I dress is pretty androgynous, but there's no way that I could pass off as male. And you know what? I've learned, and I still need to come to terms with the fact that that's okay. Because, okay, I'm going off on a rant. Okay, there's no one way to be trans. I'm sorry if this is shaking. Let me move. Okay, let me put it down. Sorry, guys, I'm in my PJs. There is no one way to be trans, and whoever tries to tell you otherwise should be slapped. You don't have to go on T. You don't have to get any surgery. You don't have to fit any of the boxes that society thinks or deems as male or deems as female. You don't have to do any of those things. You can still identify as trans. Let's say in my case, I'm female assigned at birth. Okay. I can still identify as trans, and I can still be a male to myself and still paint my nails and still wear makeup and still dress feminine. Clothes does not define gender at all. And those are just a few points that I wanted to get out there. If you were concerned about not fitting into the trans community or to the FTM community because you didn't feel a desire to transition or you didn't experience gender or body dysphoria, it's it's okay. There is not one set way to be trans. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, what identifying as genderqueer means to me is that you don't fit within the gender binary. People often don't want to believe that there is a gray area, and there is. And a lot of people, although they might not know how to recognize it as them feeling genderqueer or non-conforming, it's like some people are really in that gray area. Okay, some people are really in that gray area, and that's okay. You can have some attributes of what is viewed as male and what is viewed as female. You know, it's not important to be able to fit yourself in a box. Maybe if it's important to you and the way you live your life, that you need that label of what you are. And I understand that it can be helpful, because once you're able to recognize something and identify it, you can find other people that are in the same community as you, and you can talk about those things. But so if that's important to you, then more power to you, and I really, really wish you the most amount of luck in discovering who you are if you need that. But I feel like for everybody, you don't necessarily need that. You don't need to put a label on yourself, because gender, to me, is fluid. And the whole idea of gender is based upon stereotypes that society has created throughout generations. And it's okay not to know right now. It's okay not to know what community you fit into. But just know that you're not alone in your feelings, and there are other people out there that are having the same questions as you. And I myself know that there are both traits in the FTM and genderqueer community that I identify with, and that are appealing to me. The fact that I do identify as trans doesn't mean that I'm supposed to act a certain way or supposed to do certain things just because of that. I don't know if my answer was of any help to you, and I really, really hope that if you have any more questions or anything more specific to ask, that you'll ask one of us. I'm always here. I always leave my Tumblr in the description below. I really, really, really hope that my answer was helpful to you in any way, or that you could take certain things from my answer that you could apply to your situation. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments or in my Tumblr if you want it to be more personal. For the bonus question, it's Mac or PC, and I love Macs. Yeah, that's all for this week, and thank you for watching our videos. Really do appreciate each and every one of you, and have a great weekend and a great week. Bye, guys.